Hi. In this early morning, I decided to speak about a great man, an extraordinary man, a most amazing one. His life is a legend, and his legacy is the most precious. His name is Edgar Cayce. He indeed is truly a permanent, decisive inspiration to me. I started to read his books when I was in this early morning. I decided to speak about a great man, an extraordinary man, a most amazing one. His life is a legend, and his legacy is so precious. His name is Edgar Cayce. He indeed is truly a permanent inspiration to me. I started to read his books when I was 12 years old, and this contributed to my future choice of profession. He is, let me use an ancient Sanskrit term, a Mahatma. That means a great luminous souls to the humankind evolution, devoted to true wisdom reaching all human beings. His life is an altruistic example ever and ever. He gave his readings for free, and he did it all while he was asleep or under self-hypnosis conditions. He served and loved all types of people and dedicated his entire life to cure the sick and heal people. He was a genius healer and a remarkable humanitarian person. He has a tremendous influence, huge influence on my entire existence. Maybe it's the right time to you start to know more about him and his wisdom, watching the beautiful documentary film made by Association of Research and Enlightenment, his institution, United States of America. Just do it, and your life and values will change to a better level of comprehension. Thanks.
But it wasn't really until Gertrude was stricken with tuberculosis that the readings were brought home to me. Even with medical treatments, she continued to grow worse and was not expected to live. Finally, the doctor said there was nothing more they could do. A reading was given and recommended osteopathy, inhalants, enemas, dietary changes, and a prescription medication. The advice was followed, and Gertrude returned to perfectly normal health.
There hadn't been anything written about her. I guess, of course, she didn't do anything spectacular like Dad did, but she kept the family together and raised Julian and I guess that was the job. So.
Another personal confirmation of the readings came when the family was faced with a second crisis involving their eldest son, Hugh Lynn, who had been playing in Edgar Cayce's photography studio.
The flash burns were so severe that the doctors felt that the eyes could not be saved without taking one of them out. Our family physician told me this, and it was then that I asked Edgar Cayce, my father, to give a reading. When the treatments he recommended were applied, in applications on the eyes, internal medicine, and a change of diet, the eyes began to heal. And in a matter of weeks, they removed the bandages, and I could see.
From that time on, Edgar Cayce immersed himself in giving readings. Each day, he would lie down on a couch, become comfortable, put his hands up to his forehead, and begin to pray. When he saw a brilliant flash of light, it was the signal that he could continue. He'd lower his hands to his stomach, and when his eyelids began to flutter, his wife would give him the appropriate suggestion. In this state, it seemed that he could answer any question or provide any type of information requested. According to the readings, each of us writes the story of our lives through our thoughts, our deeds are stored in what the readings called the Akashic Records. And it was from this place, as well as from the minds of the individuals for whom he was giving the readings, that Edgar Cayce gathered his psychic information. Although the readings cover thousands of topics such as, who am I? Why am I here? And what is the purpose of life? Many can be categorized into subject areas such as health and healing, philosophy and reincarnation, dreams and dream interpretation, ESP and psychic phenomena, and spiritual growth, meditation, and prayer.
When I think of Edgar Cayce, I think of more than the psychic man, I think of health.
For all healing comes from the one source. Whether there is the application of foods, exercise, medicine, or even the knife, it is to bring to the consciousness of the forces within the body that aid in reproducing themselves, which is the awareness of creative or God forces.
Cayce saw total health as encompassing the physical, mental, and spiritual components of the individual, and offered important insights into how each of us can stay well. The readings make recommendations for hundreds of health concerns, from diet, childbirth, and longevity, to arthritis, cancer, and psoriasis. Called the father of holistic medicine, Cayce was ahead of his time in describing the workings of the human body and foreseeing the direction of health care. Not only did Cayce prescribe treatments for patients, occasionally he even recommended certain doctors for them to go to, although he had no conscious knowledge of them. One such individual was Dr. Harold J. Riley.
The number one thing is mind, body, spirit. He brings it all together and hands it to you on a silver plate. Here it is. This is you, the universe, the earth, everything in a nutshell.
It was the health information that led the Cayce family to Virginia Beach in the mid-1920s. One of Cayce's lifelong dreams was to build a hospital and to form an organization that would work with his psychic information. The readings advised the location, Virginia Beach, then a small resort town, and it was there that the hospital was built. Although lost during the Depression, the building was bought back in the mid-50s, and from that day forward became association headquarters. Today, the principles of healing remain the same and are explored by individuals, physicians, researchers, and healthcare practitioners throughout the world.
We find that these conditions arose as the result of what might be called occupational disturbances. Not enough in the sun, not enough hard work. There has been plenty of brain work, but the body is supposed to coordinate the spiritual, mental, and physical. He who does not give recreation a place in his life and the proper tone to each phase, well, he just fools himself. Someday he pays the price.
The consciousness, our soul, continues. We didn't start here, nor do we end here. It's sort of the idea that we are in the body at this particular time in a given lifetime, but once we pass out of it, we still have our individuality. In other words, the soul survives, and that was Cayce's view, that we change places. We go to different realms of consciousness, but we never really die.
To find that you lived, died, and were buried under the cherry tree in grandmother's garden does not make you one whit a better person. But to know that you spoke unkindly and suffered for it, and in the present may correct it by being righteous, that is worthwhile.